Hi, I'm Melanie Florence from Miss Melly Flows Vibe Life. This is my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to bring us some elemental readings. So these are for the Fae folk. I joined a Facebook group called Fae Only, Real Fae Only. This is Buddy, who has decided to come in for the air reading, because this is the air folk reading. So for these elemental readings, so that's what I'm going to call them all the time, is I'm going to do these once a month, mid-month, try to get them out earlier than this. But so I bought some fairy decks. Come on, Buddy, down you get. From Lucy Cavendish. I seem to have been drawn to those. I had one given to me, which really set this off. I said to the group that I would create the mid-month reading just for the Fae, for our elemental people. So I always break my readings down into elements, so being fire for faith and passion and spirit, air being for our intellect, for our communication, and my thing on a spring, Buddy's going to knock it around. Air being for communication, our intellect, and how we communicate with people, our thoughts. Water being our emotional connections and our emotional world, and how we interact with love, and our earth being our material world, our physical being. And so we break them up into that. And so you can look at them a few different ways. You can look at them in your signs, or you can look at them for your actual, those different parts of your being. Buddy is going to be so interactive today. No, good. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw a Fae Blessing card from Lucy Cavendish's Fae Blessings card deck. So I'm going to read these out of the book, so not my most fluent dictation, but I'm going to do it so that we actually get with the real from this card. From the others I won't read out the reading, but from this I will, because this is our blessing for our air Fae folk. Alright, so I've set this up so that you can sit next to me, because I like people sitting next to me for my readings. So I worked this out that I want to be able to see you and say hi, but I also want you to be able to see the cards on the table and the reading, and how it sort of sits out. Alright, so with this I will be doing these Fae cards, and then I will give a reading for the air element, the air Fae. Like, alright. Alright, one more shuffle, see if one pops out. No, we'll take one out. Nope. Alright, so split it in 3 and 3 and 3. 3 and 3. Good. I'm going to get half my face. This half is my pixie. I got a pixie ear, see. It's also a little bit fatter on this side. I noticed from this deck that, 3 and 3 and 3. I noticed from this deck stripes, and I've got all these stripy socks, and I was like, yeah, pixies and fairies wear stripy socks. Bit of a mer though myself as well, so, you know. And one more go, just for the good measure. One more out. What blessing do we have from the fairy blessing cards? Alright, so a blessing of glamour. So glamour can be a lot of different things. Glamour is how we project ourselves. Glamour is how we show people ourselves. Glamour can be beautiful. Glamour has been taken to the beauty world, but this is about how you create yourself, how you create your glamour. So I'm going to read the actual thing from the book. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to pop this down so you can see the card on the table. Just there. And let me read from the book. What number have we got? Number 20. 20. 2 partnerships. 2 and 0. 2 and yourself. 20. The glamour of it all. A blessing of glamour for the air elements. Air elemental. The blessing of glamour, the gift of being able to change. The very gift of drawing on the deep well of magical shape-shifting ability that lies within you. And this is very air to be able to glamour across. The blessing of the fairy folk glamour is the gift of being able to change and appear a little bit different. Come on, buddy. I'm sure they don't just want to see your fur. You are like cashmere, but... sorry, let me start that again. The blessing of the fairy glamour is the gift of being able to change and appear a little different than how we feel to be. For some people, this can be a ruse or a manipulation. In truth, though, This is the ability to draw deep within us to find the strength to become what we need to be. You are now gifted with the blessing of fairy glamour. You will find you can draw confidence from deep within in challenging your circumstances. Fairies will lead you to the fairies will lend you some of their energy too, so you can feel brave within an intimidating situation. Overcome nerves that might prevent you from doing something you would otherwise enjoy. Find the strength to comfort what must be confronted. To confront what must be confronted. Or head into a meeting with confidence. These are all very air things, overcoming our nerves, like that would prevent us to do something, to confront something that we need to confront, like to head into a meeting. These confidences, these fairy confidences, glamour. Fairy glamour is also the ability to physically change. So to others you may now seem a little taller. You will have a greater belief in your own presence now too. To know that you draw on your energy, your energy up from within, and to have the influence by showing all of what you can be. Let the mantle of this blessing of glamour now fall about you to help you feel the powerful presence, even when exhausted, to feel attractive despite societal conditioning and criticism. To speak, you're full fairy, that's what it's saying. To speak the truth when you feel afraid of what truth reception will be. May you be invisible when you do not wish to be seen. May you be seen when you wish to have a presence. You now have a gift of glamour, and you can use it upon your own. You can call upon your own Fae blood to arise and be of assistance when all of these trivials of the human world can seem a burden. Draw upon the glamour from within. Assert a boundary. Repel a predator. Create an impression and believe in yourself once again. A blessing of the fairy glamour to you, my friend. Alright, so this is having confidence in your perception, having confidence in yourself, having confidence that you can be the best you, because you can. And this is about expressing yourself. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep these down to 25 minutes, alright? So we're going to push, right? But I don't want to be too rushed either, because I want to give you the best. So, air. Alright, air. So what have we got? The air element. So the next card is from the... Blessed Bee deck. I'm not going to read the reading from, but I'm going to pull a card. So the Blessed Bee deck. There we are. A blessing for a fresh start. See, this is confidence. This is confident and a fresh start and a new beginning. Air element, air elementals. This is like flying. This is new beginnings. And you know, you've got the glamour to put the perception and make people either see you or don't see you if you don't want. And a blessing of a fresh start in your life. Fresh new beginnings. Fresh new communication. Alright, and so one more. And I may read a bit of this one because this one's always ambiguous. This is the Fae Forest. Also Lucy Cavendish. I found she's got a lot of good like Fae decks. All different types. She's got vampires, she's got shapeshifters, she's got Dragon Fae, which I have on the way. So fire, and she's got all different elements. So, and she's got a few witchy, like Wiccan ones as well, for that sort of, because they're all bound together in the Celtic and the Druid and that one. All right, one more for Fairy Fae. Fairy Fae for the elemental air. There it is, and there she flies. The air. Okay. Ancient elder experience lessons. There's a lot inside of the fairy folk. There's a lot of ancient, and there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff you can read. The internet is full of it now. When I started reading 25 years ago, there was no internet, and you know, when I started looking probably 15 years ago, there wasn't the massive amount of articles, but now there's a lot, and there's a lot of ancient stuff out there, a lot of ancient religions, and you really can do a bit of research. So as an air element and communication and learning stuff, learning is big. You know, it's time to experience and actually seek your elders, and you can see this wise old owl in this corner here. Alright, seek your elders and seek your guidance inside of this, and for your lessons, like they're here for you to come. So, alright, So I'm going to do the reading, the actual reading from my greenwood, and this is the flow for your air. So we're going to start with your what brought us to here, then we're going to see what our healing elements are, how we can apply that to the practical world, our partnerships and our self-love. So I've got a 5 on this, and then we might have another couple of cards from another couple of decks. I'm going to turn it down so you can see this on the table. Here we go. Alright, air element. Let me get you on the table. Alright, air element. What have we got? Oh, already. Oh, God, that's Aquarius. That's an Aquarius, the pole star. That's a great card to start with. What brought us here? And that's wishing cards. That's wishing energy. Ooh, 2. That's also air. That's also 2 of arrows is injustice. Alright, I'm going to put them all out and then we'll go over them. What brought us to here? What brought us to here? Oops. Turning it the right way. 2 more. What brought us to here? 7 of Wands. That's a healing element. And it's clearance. It's clearing out. King of Arrows, air element again. Alright, one more for what brought us to here. And again, the world. This was in the fire. But this is in our communication. This is in what our thoughts are, and this is in our air elementals. So we start with the pole star, which is an Aquarian element. Alright, so the pole star is a wishing star. And so this is what we keep our guiding aim on. You know, when everything is chaos and when we're out at sea and the storm and everything, once it clears in the night, we find where we are by our pole star and pick our guidance. So this is an energy from the cosmos. But this is always wishes. This is wishes that turn up. Alright, so this is our mind. This is our intellect. This is our air. Alright, injustice. So there has been an injustice, my air folk. So we have the 2, and you can see the bow. You can see the bow is underneath her broken, and she's blindfolded to something. There's something going on in the background. The scales are tipped. This is the scales of justice, and they're not right. You know, something has gone on, and sometimes this is about things that are unseen, people that we don't know, things that we didn't see that was going on in the background, or words, people bitching going on in the background. So what else brings us to here? What brings us to here is clearance. So we're allowed to change our mind, but this is about faith. This is Wands. So you're allowed to clear out what doesn't work for you. It is a clearance of, you know, what you didn't believe, that didn't serve you. Because sometimes you get new information. You get new, you know, and this is about spiritual backburning. You get new information from the cosmos, you get new information from a reading, you get new information from a documentary, and you're allowed to say my faith and I see something differently. And this is about backburning and getting rid of all like your beliefs that you're allowed to be a different person to what you were last year. And I think everybody might just be changing our spiritual beliefs. And so this is also about communication. So this has been a lot of strong communication going on, and this is like definitely what is the truth. And when we talk about the King of Arrows, we're talking about the just king who does the right thing by his people. And so we have the links, and we have the communication of the you know, what's going on around the world. So we are seeing a lot on the internet, and this is fierce communication. Alright, so protective communication. So then we have the world tree. And so this, what brings us to here? The world tree. So the world tree, you can see the seasons changing in this beautiful tree. And you can see what's going on inside of that. And you can see your path inside of that. What's below is above. What you put in, what you get out. So what we reap, we sow. Each person's path to the divine is their own path. That's you, the world tree. That's your path to your tree. How you find that one's up to you. Alright, so what's our healing element? Because that's what's brought us to here. Alright, air sign. What's healing element for air sign? Okay. Healing element for air sign. Air sign, element. This is air folk. I'm not reading any of my readings in sign. I'm actually reading them all in element. Right, because I have a mixed chart of elements. And my Capricorn is just my front, which is the truth. So we air element, our elementals, particularly with my fairy readings, my Fae readings. And I've been excited to do this. I've been waiting on the decks to turn on. Because at the moment, here we are, one more card. The air elemental. Yeah, elemental. That one. Okay. Polestar. This is fun. Alright, a healing element. A healing element is the Page of Cups. So we're talking the Kingfisher. So this is emotional messages. This is sending love to each other. This is actually someone actually telling you, you know, you're okay and I really care about you, and reaching out, I guess. But this is nurturing your own little emotional being, looking after yourself. This could be a water sign child if we were talking about that, but we sort of can go, this is about, you know, new flutterings in your heart, and we've cleared out some old beliefs, and you know, this is about new flutterings of the heart, new emotional messages. The next one is about healing element. So this, you can see your soul, being connected, and your ancestor, which we're going to talk about again in a second. This guy turns up a lot. The shaman, the ancestor that heals you. And this is physical rest. This is taking a break. This is healing yourself. With this pandemic that's going on, personally, I've actually bought a lot of vitamins and I've looked after myself physically. I've taken rest. I've taken meditation, actually recently on my root chakra, because it is the one that is a little bit underactive, so I need to really work on my root chakra to keep grounded inside of all of this. You can see that connection, and you can see that healing. And so the next one, we have the Queen of Fire, we have the Queen of Faith, we have the Queen of Action, we have the Queen of Passion. We have this Queen that's sort of with a rebirth, and we have this rebirth, and she's a fertile energy, and she's going, and she's a passionate Queen. And so this is about taking our passions, and you know, so we've got a little emotional messages and healing ourselves, and really looking after our spiritual being. And that's reading the books. That's actually what you put in, what you get out. It's a communication, because we're talking about air inside of all of this on top. It's like this is talking about communication, and your ancestors are saying it's time to actually, you know, read up on some stuff. This is a good time to get some books on your craft or your element or the things you're interested in, because it's allowed you're here to heal you and clear and change your mind, because there has been an injustice. But keep your eye. Right, because we keep your eye on the Polestar, which is what we talked about over here in the first place. And the Polestar is here, and this guy is this guy. Alright, so, because this deck is a wonderful cyclic deck. So here we have our stag and our emotional being, and this is our ancestor, and we have our pulsar. And it's like, while it's saying that we are going to be guided, we're going to have somebody there, that we're being guided. If you're following your star, and you're looking after your spiritual and your emotional being and your physical being, because that's what this line is really talking about. We're following it. This card always reminds me of that little verse about God walking down the beach with somebody and saying to them, I was always there for you, and they turn around the footprints, and he's like, I carried you for those bits that you can't see, two sets. Always there. The ancestors are there to guide you safely through your forest, through your dark times. They will always be there to carry you and hold your hand and be there. The ancients, and we've got the ancients as well. So this is ancient wisdom coming to you today from the Greenwood, my Greenwood deck. Alright, so the next card is about how you apply this in the practical world. How we put our stuff into practice. We've gone through, how do we get here? How do we heal? How do we put it into practice? Oop, one. Ooh, that's a practical card to put it into practice. That's about your finance, the King of Stone, the horse. Alright, 1, 2. Practical. Oh, there. Yeah, element, there we are. 2 we are. 1, 2. Alright, so our practical. How do we apply this to the world? So we have the King of Stones. If ever there was a practical application card in how we apply it. Before we were talking about the communication that's been going on has been fierce, and how to organise. This is also how to organise your admin and make sure you're paying your bills and doing all those things, and that's been fierce, right? This is talking about how do we apply it. So the horse is methodical. It is strong. It pulls the cart. It tills the earth. You know, it just keeps going, plods itself out. Like, if you don't push it, it'll never wear out. The horse has just got that strength and meticulousness. And inside of this, we've got this air. This is the breath of life. This is an air communication card. So this is a strong, like the strong ability to take in your practical world. All right. So again, air element communication. How do we apply this to the practical world. This is reunion, this card of reunion, the Six of Cups. And you can see it. You can see the lovers, the people, these two reunited up here. And you see the family you reunited of otters. Like they build their families together. And that's the happiness. This is the leading to happiness, the waterfall of happiness. And this is reunion with old things that you did, old crafts that you did, old loves, things you did in your childhood that you let go, you know. So this is reuniting. And so if you ever wanted to write a book, if you ever wanted to, you know, do a craft and do something practical, this is reuniting with your friends and your family from your youth and your childhood. This is loved ones returning. Like this is a moment to stop, and actually, because we're talking about air, and so we're definitely talking about communication inside of this reading. This is talking about, you know, your how do you communicate your love and reunion with those old things and old people that you love in your life. Alright, so when we do that in our practical world, and this card is amazing. This is about abundance. It says generosity. It's about abundance. It's about a party. It's about, this is emotional. We're talking cups, always talking about emotions. So this is about, you know, we talked about reunion. This is about the generosity of heart. This is the generosity of what fills your cup and what kills the next person's cup. I have a real big story about cups, right? I'm going to be really quick, right? So the cups thing is like, I have a cup and you've got a cup, and I can see that your cup is not like full, and I pour some of my emotion into you and I fill your cup. And so the next thing is that you can go to the next person and fill their cup, and somebody else comes and they fill my cup. You don't always get your cup filled back by the person you gave it to, but the cycle of abundance and generosity is if you put it out there for somebody else, you're going to see it come into your life from somewhere else. All right, so that's what the cycle of generosity is, and you can see it. You can see that in the cups. All right, so we're all filling everybody else's cups. We're all filling our cups, and somebody else is filling our cups, and that's a cycle. It's a playing forward cycle. Generosity and abundance is play it forward. You know, what you put in, you get out. All right, things change. All right, so we're communicating. 2 more rows to go, and then a couple more cards. Okay, so, all right, so the next we're talking about is partnerships. All right, next things we're talking about is partnerships. All right, 2 cards, believe it or not, for partnerships. Partnerships for the air elementals, for my air elementals. Oh, 2, and here we are, partnerships. That's so fun. Alright, so we have the Queen of Stones. So this is a real practical. So we've had the faith. We had to have faith in ourselves. That's our healing element, and have faith in our and rebirth, and that we express ourselves inside of that. Now we have, this is protection. This is methodical. This again, we've got the King sitting here and the Queen. You know, this is together. That's like saying this is taking a hold of our earthy side of ourselves, our most practical sides, looking after ourselves, cleaning our houses out. Watch Marie Kondo if you are really bored. If you want to get out in the garden, you might want to watch, what's his name? Monty Don. Like, and there, Marie Kondo, fix your house, Monty Don, fix your garden. We can do practical things in our life, but this is our partnership. So this is you being as earthy and connected to your earth, and grounding yourself on a real, and protecting your young and looking after your children. And here we have the page. This is the Soat. There's a page of wands, so fire, the stoat. And so I love this card. It's one of my favorites. It's just like this, it's a ferret. Like, it's a ferrety energy. It's all over the place doing its thing. It's like, I'm over here, I'm looking over here. I'm looking in that book reading about faith. I'm reading that book. I've looked at this documentary. You know, and I don't mean, I say faith, I mean all over. Like, I watch a lot of documentaries about the foundations of Christianity, and before and after, and what's happened to all of that, and how we got here, and the Sumerian tablets. Like, have a look at that stuff. Now, but I've been looking in all different pockets of faith, and I never stop turning those little stones over and ferreting here and ferreting there, looking for that. So we can earth ourselves, and we can earth ourselves as people by, you know, just and looking for those ferrety energies. That ancients, looking for the ancients. We have a fresh start, and you get to be whoever you want. That's what the Glamour card said to us in the beginning. You get to be whoever you want. You've got a fresh start. You know, there's going to be before 2020 and after 2020, it'll be our hindsight. Alright, so this is our self-love card. Okay, believe it or not, this is a healing card. 7s are always healing. Cups. our emotions. So grief is after the point of shock. Grief is about letting go. And you can grieve what you let go in your faith. You can grieve people. You can grieve an old world. You can grieve everything. And it's like, you know, mourning is about a cycle, and you light your sage and you light your oils, and there's a ritual inside of mourning, and it can come on all different levels. So on an air level, on this air elemental reading, we're really talking about, in this last card of self-love, is appreciating what you've left behind, and saying goodbye to it, and saying goodbye to old parts of ourselves, maybe old relationships. A lot has changed. The world has changed. The world is changing. The world tree just here. And so this right now tells me that, you know, it's time for us to look a little bit deeper inside of ourselves and do the rituals to mourn the loss, so that we can ground ourselves and look after ourselves. So interesting at the end of the air. So air element, 2 more cards. So this one is, I'm going to do 2 more cards. One of them is from the elemental, so this is, Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen D. Farmer. Love it. Earth, because this is Earth Magic. I want to, for the Fae people, give us some grounding and work with I hope this collection. I'm growing it. I ordered some more cards. My God. Excuse me. It's not corona. I have asthma. It's not corona. I have asthma. And a couple of pimples that won't go away. Alright, so summer solstice. Summer solstice radius. Okay, so our winter, our summer. This is talking, and wow. It only passed a little while ago, I guess. This is for, I guess it's midsummer. Let's go. So for this is about when the day is longest, and this is about finding strength, and then that strength inside of this. And this is a sun card, obviously. This is your biggest sun card. This is about opening yourself up to the universal, like, soul, and bathing yourself in what is the cosmic energy of everything. So this song, and recognizing that it's a spiritual moment inside when we open up, and we open up to the sun and the full distance of the sun, and we have a full day. So one more card, which I'm going to take from the Spellcasting Oracle deck. I really like this card, this deck. Spellcasting Oracle. One more card for the air element. These guys are really new. For the air, one more. I can see the card. For the air elementals. Truth. Communication. So this is about, and all these cards, I love these, have all got circles in them. They've got circles of protections, all 3 of these cards, this deck. And so this card is talking about speaking your truth and talking your truth and understanding and taking time to find a truth. These are very personal, and you don't actually have to see it how everybody else says it. This clearance of a spiritual clearance and a spiritual rebirth sitting here in the middle of this reading. Like, just here, this clearance here, and this really makes a difference in how we see our faith. A lot of your reading is about faith and communicating that and mourning old ways. So, yeah. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed that reading. I will be doing elemental readings. Yes, elemental readings once a month in the middle of the month for the Fae only group on Facebook, but also for my page, because I have a lot of fairies and I'm fairy folk. So I really enjoyed doing this. I hope you've enjoyed it too. I do private readings. If you're interested, hit me up on my Facebook page. Oh, knew I was going to lose these earrings. They're so fun. I got them from, like, when I saw them in Spain, as I'd got them. So, anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. And I will be doing some new moon readings. I do other readings for my page. And I'll sign out. Thank you very much for watching.